we play like we're the favorites, and then
Yes.
at the very last stage, we crumble. Be the
Yeah.
semi-final or the final, and we crumble in a bad way. The good thing is India are not the favorites. They're playing horribly. Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Wicket. I'm your host Deepanjan. I've got Naman and Swapneel with me, and we're back after the India-USA game. USA made it really difficult. I mean, all credit to them. They made 111. India chased it down in 18 overs. And while we gave some flag to Suryakumar and Shivam Dube, props to them. They rose to the occasion. They had to play ugly to win. It's not the usual Suryakumar Yadav 50 that we see where he's hitting, behind the keeper for a six and all the flamboyant shots. He had to go back to basics and get the job done. And it's great to see that facet of him.
It was a much needed innings from Suryakumar and Shivam Dube. And that's what India wanted. And somewhere it's good that when your batting lineups like Rohit and Virat, they're not performing. You have batters, they're rising to the occasion. Surya had a bit of luck as well. If you guys followed the match,
Yeah.
he was dropped by Saurabh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But having said that, you're right. It wasn't a typical Surya Kumar innings, per se. But it hasn't been that kind of a wicket. If you see, in New York, and a fun fact, like in the 8 matches that they've played, this is the highest successful chase.
Wow.
So you can imagine the pitch, the standard. Like even the teams like India, Pakistan also played. They haven't scored that many runs. It hasn't been that easy. Even the South Africa Bangladesh game, the first game that South Africa Sri Lanka played was some 70, 80 odd runs. So it's a pretty low scoring games. Most of the players, they played in the IPL as well. From scoring those big 200s to scoring just about 100 runs and less than 100, it's been a completely different ball game altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they lost early wicket and then on the first ball by Arshdeep. Again, we'll come back, to Arshdeep later. Amazing spell that. But at one point, they looked like 120. If they could reach 120, 30, that could be like a really good. 110 was the highest run chase, as I said. Anything above that would have been really competitive. And at one point, they looked like they would get there. They lost some early wickets, sure, but Steven Taylor was great. Nitish Kumar in the middle. Then Corey Anderson. I think he was he played a brief cameo, like he made 15 runs, but of course in a low scoring match, even that counts. And at one point it looked like they would make a challenging total. And even if you see 110, India took 18.3 overs to chase it down. It wasn't as easy as it looked on paper. For players like Suryakumar Yadav, I think what we said, like he had to sort of scoop out a result. He had to go back to basics and get the job done. It's a bit like Mourinho, right? Like everyone can play beautiful football and get results, but sometimes you have to play ugly and just get a result from there.
Yeah.
And
he did manage to play a couple of his scoop shots, but
yeah,
you could see the struggle when he was there batting. But I think which is quite
understandable.
Was keeping other batters in mind, and throughout those 8 matches, if you see, somewhere at least scoring a 50. And in the last match, we also talked about Surya Kumar's approach. Like, is he your number one batter? So I think somewhere he answered that question, even though it was a team like USA, but still, the way USA is playing cricket, you can't take this team lightly at all.
Of course.
And at the moment, I won't be surprised that if USA qualifies for the Super 8s, and there are high possibilities.
We'll come to it. With
batting,
Suryakumar, if you see, he's only hit 2 4s and 2 6s, and he took 49 balls to reach his 50. But you can see it's a very different kind of innings. You can talk about that like for Virat Kohli, where most of his runs are coming from singles and doubles. But to see Suryakumar unlock that facet of cricket, I think that was really, really motivating, I would say, in such conditions.
Yeah, and Klaasen, South African keeper, he said in an interview that batting here in New York requires an ODI mindset like the one you bat in the middle overs. So both of these batsmen showed that mindset, and this is the formula for succeeding on pitches like these.
Yeah, yeah, true. Sorry,
also-
what were you saying earlier, man? Sorry, Naman, you were mentioning a point earlier.
No, I forgot that. But no, I was
What?
right. I was gonna say in when India was batting, towards the end, you could see USA also panicking in the field. Why I'm saying panicking, because you could see, they were trying to slow things down in such a way that they were penalized 5 runs because of the slow over rates. Because it's been on a third occasion, they took more than a minute to start the new over. And in this World Cup, you're seeing that they have a clock. So you have to make sure that, within 60 seconds, you're bowling the next over. And so with that, at that point, I think the score required somewhere around 45 runs in last 5 overs, somewhere around that mark. So India also was struggling to chase that.
I think it was 35, but yeah, I mean,
35
in a match like that, that's very challenging.
It's
without
like
even
a 6 hit.
without a
almost.
whole ball, you getting a 5 runs.
Mm.
And then they panicked again, and then you could see in the next over, a 6 as well was hit. So 11 runs in one ball.
Yeah,
That made
yeah,
the
yeah.
difference somewhere.
Absolutely.
But it's understandable, USA not being our experienced team. That's why sometimes you say, that's why people when say experience matters, these are the moments. So, but it's good that USA did manage to hold on for some time. And
Most of the
it
times
made,
you can
most
say.
of the times, yeah. And made sure that India will not have that easy run chase.
Yeah. And also, it was a big match for them, right? So now they have, they are looking at a scenario where they could qualify to Super 8s. And even if they lose against India, giving them a tough fight would ensure they have a positive net run rate, which they do now because they took it to the to the end almost to almost 19th over, right? So now they have a very positive net run rate, almost identical to Pakistan. So now so they had that pressure as well. But good thing is that we have that timer now, so we can use this for so many IPL matches went way beyond the time limit. I mean, there's no time limit. I mean, yes, in the last over you'd have one fielder inside the ring, but if you see so many matches went like total duration of the match went to like 7, 8 hours, 9 hours. Like it would end at 12:30 at night. If you look at the length of the matches, I think if we could do that, implement that for all international matches, like IPL matches, I think this is a very good strategy to sort of cut down the time. Because during the overs, and it'll be great because if you're watching it on on any of the OTTs in Hotstar, or even if you're watching it on TV, like the ad breaks are so annoying. Like just talking about from a consumer point of view, but props to that. And also coming back to India USA, I think India has kept the record alive that they haven't lost to any associate nations in a World Cup.
Yeah.
Right. So coming to the bowlers, I think Arshdeep was phenomenal. He ended up with figures of 4 for 9 runs, 4 wickets for 9 runs. And with that, he also becomes the first Indian bowler in T20 World Cup history to take a wicket of the first ball.
Yeah. And also he recorded the best figures.
Yeah, he has the
T20 World Cups.
best figures of 4 for 9, beating Ashwin's 4 for 11. I mean, yeah, I think that's a great feat to achieve. And it will give him immense confidence going into the next phase of the World Cup, which will all be most of it will be in West Indies.
West
I
Indies.
think all the
All the
Super 8s will be
matches,
in West Indies.
all the matches.
All the Super 8s and beyond would be in West Indies.
Yeah.
And we might have a scenario where one of either Siraj or Arshdeep will have to make way for another spinner. That could be a scenario depending on the conditions. And in that scenario, I think Arshdeep now has an upper hand. I think we can all, and like we've all seen what he can do with the new ball. But when conditions are favoring you, like for example, someone like Siraj, he hasn't been effective taking wickets. He has bowled well. I mean, in the conditions are in your favor, yet he's struggling to pick wickets. And whereas we can see Arshdeep is now leading the chart for India in terms of wicket, tied with Hardik Pandya. Both are tied on 7 wickets each. And especially Pandya, I mean, that helps India unlock another great facet.
Yeah.
You
And
can
Pandya has bowled.
have that bankable fifth bowling option who is proper 4 overs bowler now. He's giving just another all-rounder. He's a wicket taker, and he's an intelligent bowler who bowls as per the conditions. He'll mix it up, and he'll make it harder and harder for the batsman to predict what he's gonna do.
And in all the 3 matches, he has bowled his 4 quota of overs, full quota.
Yeah, that's a massive plus. And that's an absolute plus. Even if you see like all the matches, he had barely anything to do with the bat
Yeah.
except the Pakistan match. He didn't none of the lower orders got a chance to bat in the other 2 matches. But the way he is pulling his weight with the ball, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and the batsmen are struggling to play against his slower ones, and mixed with hard length, he becomes an absolute threat.
Yeah, even in the USA match, the way he is mixing up his pace and the length, couple of times the batsman had no idea, like his
Yeah.
slower bounce, he executed it so well.
And his
Amazing.
bouncers are very lethal.
And the beauty of Hardik Pandya is that, you know that he's going to be bowling such balls. It's not like it's coming all of a surprise. Yet, he manages to deliver time and time. And he makes sure he's utilizing the field, the condition, and making the most of it.
One interesting thing, if we can go back to the bowling figure, right? The best bowling figures for a bowler in T20 World Cups. If you go by that list, Arshdeep is of course leading the chart. We have Ashwin on second, Harbhajan on the third. Like Ashwin took 4 for 11 in 2014, Harbhajan took 4 for 12 in 2012.
12.
And the rest are followed by RP Singh, Zahir Khan, and Pragyan Oja, all 4 wickets. In 2007, 2009, and also Pragyan Oja is fifth on the list, 2009. If you see the trend in the last 10 overs in T20 cricket, it's been very different approach. This is something Ashwin talked about recently, that taking wickets in T20I cricket is overrated. If you case in point, the India-Pakistan match, where Pakistan was still in the match till the end because they had wickets in hand. But all the batsmen were rendered ineffective because of India's strategies with the ball and how they were manipulating the field strategy to sort of choke the runs. And that was the strategy that worked for India. And if you see that trend, it's been very difficult for bowlers anyway in the last decade. And if you just look at that best bowling figures for Indian T20I World Cups, like that give you like a fair assessment of the changing strategies.
Yeah.
And as always, man, Ashwin, Ravichandran Ashwin is he's such a great analyst when it comes to cricket. In what's next for India? The India Canada game, right? That's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
15.
So India has qualified. So what do you think? Who's going to finish second in the group? USA or Pakistan? What are their scenarios?
So Pakistan lost both their matches by a very small margin. So they are still in contention. They just have to win by a smaller margin. Not that they have to do something big to qualify. But the main thing is the match they are playing at in Florida. The place is flooded right now, and the visuals that I saw just now are concerning.
Yeah, I think
So there is a high
yesterday it was
possibility that
Sri Lanka match, no, that got washed out. India is also playing in Florida. India
It's
Canada.
the last match. The mayor there has a declared an emergency.
Yeah.
Like
That bad situation at the
streets are flooded and like the rescue operation is going on, like that kind of a scenario.
So if you see at the
That's-
Pakistan's net run rate, that's the net run rate. That's better than the USA.
Hmm.
But the thing is, USA is playing the last match against Ireland, and the kind of cricket USA is playing, you will back USA to win against Ireland.
Hmm.
But in case
So,
USA
so
loses
in
to Ireland,
in Pakistan's case, they have to win again. Who next match? Who's Pakistan playing
Ireland.
next? Ireland. So both the teams are playing Ireland,
Ireland.
and both
but
have to. But Pakistan has to win with a good margin,
No,
and
they just have to win and hope
Pakistan.
USA loses
Okay.
because they have a better run rate.
on
Okay.
Friday we'll have an idea because on Friday US is playing against Ireland, and Pakistan's last match would be against Ireland too.
Hmm.
So if USA loses, then the last match would be interesting.
No, that's what I'm saying. What if both teams win? So now USA has to ensure they win by a big margin, or at least
No,
like a
no.
good margin.
USA just
No, they will have an extra win. Pakistan will have 2 wins and USA will have
Oh,
three.
US hasn't lost it before the India match.
Yes.
Yes. Correct. The US just has to win. Like doesn't have to worry
Yeah.
about any net run rate or anything. Interesting.
or even if the USA Ireland match, if it's washed out,
Hmm.
USA will qualify.
Yeah, they just need 1 point
Yeah.
because they have an extra win. Correct.
Hmm.
Wow, this is interesting, man.
So like it's very simple if you see for
Hmm.
both teams, Pakistan wants a win and they
Yeah.
want USA to lose, while USA just want a win or even a draw will do.
Yeah. They would be
Wash out.
praying to the rain gods so hard right now.
Yet again.
Yeah. And cricket can be so cruel and so exciting at the same time.
So talking about India's batting, Kohli, Rohit again field. So is
Yeah.
it concerning or like it's okay?
Because India played only one big game in New York, so the only worry was the India-Pakistan game, which we got over the line. That's not much of an worry. The conditions are not in batsman's favor, so I wouldn't look too much into it. Rohit still looked
Yeah.
good, right? Rohit still looked good. I mean, he played his shots. Concern was about Virat Kohli. And see, there are two sides to a coin, right? So I think in this scenario as well, if you see, the good thing was, like, it's very evident, like the players are working out with a plan in mind. Like the management has roles for everyone, right? So
Yeah.
Virat Kohli has a very specific role, and it's not the one that we have seen when he's batting at number 3 to bat till the end.
Hmm.
His role here was the aggressor. He would come out and play his shots because there are other players batting at 3, 4 who are equally as capable. So his role was to come out and give us a good start, and it's very evident from like the way he's approached like all the matches, even the India-Pakistan match. He hit a boundary. Again, it was a wide ball. He was struggling to reach it. Still, he went for it because his role was to get the most out of it in the power play. Same with Ireland. He was advancing down the wicket, trying to take on the bowlers. So he has a very specific role. Good thing is all the players are sticking to it. Like for the last few years, Rohit Sharma has been talking about it. We have to go and play aggressive brand of cricket. We have to start hitting or go after the bowler from ball 1. So good thing is everyone has a role and they're sticking to it.
Sticking to it.
Come the next phase, it's in West Indies, and Kohli has the best record in West Indies. Like if we look at his numbers against all the oppositions and outside India, his best records are in West Indies. And you pointed out earlier, Swapnil, that he needs that fire in the belly sometimes. He needs to prove
Needs
people
a
wrong.
fight. Yeah.
Needs a fight. He thrives in that situation where he has to prove his doubters wrong. And I think the first 3 matches he has struggled to play 10 balls cumulatively. That's
Yeah.
insane,
Yeah.
right?
So like
Now he has something to prove. Now he has doubters to prove wrong. And
and
this
now
is a
are the
situation
Super 8,
in the
like
Super 8
you will have
matches,
strong teams
strong teams.
and
And
almost every match is like a knockout.
yeah, you have strong teams, you have a lot on the line, and Virat Kohli is struggling. There are questions about him. This is a situation tailor-made for Virat Kohli.
And we will
Would
be
be some-
facing Australia on the 24th
Yeah,
in the Super 8.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's not a bigger occasion than this to.
Absolutely. And if history is anything to go by, when India needs someone to step up and it's a tough situation, there more often than not there has been only one guy,
Mm.
and it's Virat Kohli. So we can, rest assured he will bring his best, will rise to the occasion.
Mm.
And good thing is we have enough other batsmen like stepping up and other players stepping up. Last match against Pakistan, we have seen Rishabh Pant do that, rise to the occasion. This time it was Suryakumar Yadav. He had to, it was an ugly scrap. He had to forget his usual tempo, the usual kind of cricket he plays, and he had to get a result. And Bumrah has been doing that for, forever. In the last two matches as well, Bumrah was phenomenal. Against USA, it was Arshdeep. So we have different players stepping up to the occasion.
Yes.
But just one more point about the US. Saurav Netravalkar.
Hmm.
I mean, he has only one thing left to do, I think, in this World Cup, is again
Yeah.
pull out a win against Ireland. But I will let you take this, Swapnil. This is a topic very close to you.
Yeah.
Take it
Yeah.
away.
It's his story is like a dream of every Indian guy. Like he is
Every
working
Indian
IT
parent as well.
parent as well. Yeah. So yeah, he is working in IT in a big company like Oracle, and he has a patent to his name. He said in an interview that one more patent is pending to be approved. So and on the other hand, he's playing big matches, bowling the super over. He's helping the team win against Pakistan in a crucial match. He's taking the wicket of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, like dismissing Virat Kohli for a golden duck in a T20 match. So, what else can he do? Like, maybe go in the past and dismiss Sachin Tendulkar as well.
That's the only thing left to do.
That's the only thing is.
After helping US beat Ireland and qualify for Super 8, that's the only
Yeah.
thing left to do.
And also, he's trying his best to make sure that he doesn't go to his office on the 17th of June, where we read. I don't know how true is that, but there are rumors, or if it's true that till 17th June he applied for holidays,
Yeah.
to play cricket for the USA.
And mind you, when he's playing for US, right, in between training sessions and in between matches, he's also working in all those days. He works from home or works from the training
Works from-
stadium, wherever he is. So, I mean, amazing, man, the way he juggles. And he sings as well. He's
Yeah,
pretty
sings
good.
and plays.
Plays ukulele. He's
Ukulele.
pretty good at that as well.
Like-
What else? Is there anything that this guy cannot do? We say that about Ashwin very often.
Like, what a story, man. Like, he also said
Absolutely
in an
story.
interview that he's a kind of a spiritual guy. He has he has done a lot of meditation. So this has helped him manage things better.
That's great. That's great.
So he's like a dream guy. The one you would manifest.
He is a Suraj Barjatia character. He is a main character in a Suraj Barjatia movie.
Yeah. Like, he's like a botal se nikla hua jinn.
Yeah, he is that ideal Indian guy, Indian son who does no wrong, who can do everything, and who's good at everything.
Or in today's time, you can say he's Zada green flag.
Yeah.
Best.
This is great. So yeah, moving on from India, US, I think we've covered everything. There are other interesting results happening.
Yeah,
on-
just before we move on from this match,
Mm.
like this was the first time in his 120 matches that Kohli has 4 single-digit scores in consecutive matches.
What was the fourth one?
So this was before the World Cup.
What was the
So
last
this is the first one.
T20 he played? The semi-final. Last semi-final, was it?
No, he played one. He played some matches before.
No, are you
Very-
talking about the international match? I think last he played
Internationals.
Afghanistan match when he got out for a duck. Rohit Rinku Singh.
Yeah, that one.
150 runs
yes, yes.
partnership. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
200 runs partnership.
So like this is the first
I
time he
remember.
has been like
Yeah.
single digit scores.
Also, with
For a-
those string of single digit scores, I think this is for the first time in like a decade or so that his average in T20Is has dropped below 50. It's right now 49.9.
Yeah. So like so we keep saying that T20 is a format where consistency is very difficult. And in 120 innings, in 120 matches, like he has hardly got any single digit scores for consecutive matches.
Mm,
So that itself speaks volume about his stature.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, moving on to other results. So, we have some interesting things happening in other parts of the tournament. One very evidently being the Bangladesh South Africa match and the result, how it turned out. So, Bangladesh needed 5 runs or 4 runs in the last ball, and it hit the pad and went for 4. The South Africa appealed, and the umpire gave it out. And the ball, of course, like the umpire gave it out before the ball could reach the boundary. And the rule states as soon as the umpire gives it out, the ball is dead. And when they took a review, it sort of turned out that it was not out. But because the ball was dead, the 4 byes didn't count. And Bangladesh lost by 4 runs. So it's I think it's about time we look at that rule. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think the rule needs to be relooked. Like the umpire needs to wait until the ball is like the action is complete. So like for example, many times the umpires wait like when a bowler and the fielding team is appealing for a caught behind or an inside edge for an LBW where there is an inside edge. Umpire waits until the appeal is done and then he signals a wide.
Hmm.
So this kind of thing can be applied here as well because you are talking about a World Cup Super 8 spot and like this this rule needs to be looked upon.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that needs to happen. For example, say when it's first thing that we need to do is scrap this ball being dead rule.
Yeah.
Because if you see in other instances, so it's a on-field umpires who take the call when the ball is dead. We've seen that in that Johnny Bairstow run out in the Ashes, right? It's on-field umpires who will decide when the ball is dead. Usually, when the keeper collects it, passes on to the fielders, it's assumed that the ball is dead, right? But if that happens in a quick succession, it's on-field umpires who will decide when the ball is dead. If you see when there's an LBW appeal and say batsmen run for a single or double, right? So there's a leg bye. Umpires don't give leg byes if there's an appeal. They will wait for the 15-second to
Yeah.
pass.
Then
They'll see because if the umpire in that scenario, if the umpire gives a leg bye, then there's a surety umpire think that it hit the pads.
Yeah.
It makes it easier for the bowling team to go for a review or decide if they want to go for a review.
Yeah.
So in that instance, the ball isn't dead, right? Umpire waits for the bowling team to take a review and then says if it's like leg bye or not. In this instance, yes, you gave it out. Ball went for a 4. Ball shouldn't be dead at that point. If it's out, then it's out. The 4 doesn't count. But if it's not out, that 4 should count. Or if you run 1 or 2, that would count. Because in that case, then same thing happened, I think, to Bangladesh some time ago. Again, a similar sort of thing where they were given out, it turned they were not out, and they lost by 3-4 runs. I think I saw it somewhere that happened to them earlier as well. We see the same thing in case of a run out.
Hmm.
When the ball hits the stumps, ball isn't dead there. Batsman can run an extra, and that happens very often.
The classic case being the India-Pakistan 2022 match.
Yeah, I mean that was a free hit. Yeah, that is true. But I'm talking about runouts as well. Like when you're running and someone hits the stumps, if it's a run out, then it's fine. But if it's not, then sometimes batsmen run for an extra run as well, right? And then even if they appeal they go and check if it's out or not. If it's not out, the run stands. Correct? So the ball doesn't become dead as soon as it hits the stumps when it's a run out. Same case with free hit in the India-Pakistan match, as you pointed out, that Nawaz to Virat one, he was bowled. They appealed because they thought the ball is dead even in a free hit, but it's not. Ball is active. So same thing with this case as well. Yes, you gave it out, but the ball shouldn't, like, if you keep the ball alive when you're giving leg byes, and a bowling team can still appeal, right? That means the ball isn't dead,
Yeah.
right? When you're running leg by. So I think that's a loophole that needs to go. And it's not it's not like you have to make any wholesome changes. It's just that the ball should be active till there's a final decision.
True.
Because it made sense earlier when the on-field umpires were taking the final decisions, but now on-field umpires refer it to third umpire to take the final call. So till the final call is taken, the ball should be active. Not like the ball should be active. I mean, the ball shouldn't be given dead right at that point when there's an LBW.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very unfortunate for them, but yeah, cricket
And
keeps going.
in the recent World Cups that we are seeing, something or the other has been coming up. Like in 2023 World Cup, ODI World Cup, you had that Shakib and Angelo Matthews controversy.
Timeout one.
Timeout, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know about that. We used to
And Bangladesh is involved in most of the matches.
Oh man.
Bangladesh finds a way.
Finds
Be in the
Challenge
news.
the laws of cricket.
For every Ashwin, there is a Bangladesh. Okay, what else? What else do we have?
So, like, in surprising turn of events, New Zealand has been disqualified from the World Cup,
That's huge, man.
knocked out of the World Cup.
Yeah, why did it go wrong for them? They lost
I-
against Afghanistan and West Indies. I mean, both very capable teams. But you would, 9 out of 10 times you would sort of give New Zealand the upper hand. Where did things go wrong for them?
They faced challenges like from the time they landed in the US, in the West Indies, because New Zealand being a very eastward country, they faced jet lag issues. They did not play a warm-up match at all, and like most of the players, they didn't play together since a longer period. Like
That can't be a reason. You're playing a professional cricket. You knew that you would be flying there. It's not the first time.
but most
But
of the
this
players
season-
complained of jet lag and not being able to practice due to it. I read one
But it-
article.
But I'm just saying that's same applies for Australia, right? And that's
Yeah.
the case.
They
Players
highlighted
are also saying jet lag. I mean, it shouldn't be an excuse because you knew well in advance that you would be flying there.
they landed they landed there late. They didn't play a practice match too.
So I think it's the team management or the board's responsibility then to ensure
Yeah.
the team from next time onwards go in advance.
But I think the last few series they played, I think they played with their second, third string teams, right? With Pakistan. Most of the players were away for IPL and other leagues, so they were
Yes.
playing like second string sides.
Also, the main forte of New Zealand is their fielding. No matter how they play, they always give their 120% on the field. But
Correct.
in this World Cup against Afghanistan, I saw them dropping 3 or 4 easy chances. So, and that's not what you see with New Zealand.
That's
Yeah, I think
unlike
Williamson
New Zealand.
pointed it out as well.
That's unlike New Zealand.
Yeah, unlike
Yeah,
totally
that's
unlike
very
New
good.
Zealand.
Yeah.
So yeah, New Zealand not in the knockouts of of an ICC event is very new to the cricket world.
And that too in the first stage.
Yeah,
You expect them losing in semi-finals, but not in the first stage. New Zealand has been one team who has always qualified.
Yeah.
Or
They're
10
always
times at
like,
least.
comes the ICC event, they'll bring their best.
At least
Yes.
7-8 times they'll qualify for the semis.
Yeah, I saw these things before the World Cup about the preparation being light, but when I remember when I was reading that, I felt the same thing. I'm like, I mean, sure, but it's New Zealand. Like if anyone can bring their A game when you require them the most, it's New Zealand. But
Also, their batting lineup didn't click as they would have liked. Conway,
yeah, I mean, it's
William
and
Phillips, Mitchell. These
yeah,
three, four main
the
guys.
combination didn't sort of work. It did look like they're not gelling. I mean, maybe with the conditions.
Yeah. Also, maybe the reason that they didn't play much together.
Could be a reason. But I mean, this is some we have seen
This
that
is
with India as well,
surprising, but-
right? I mean, if you look at the India side, this Indian team hasn't played together for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the last couple of years we were preparing for ODI World Cup. India hasn't played much T20 cricket. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Bumrah, they don't like the seniors don't play as much T20 cricket. Like didn't play much T20 cricket in the last couple of years. So it's the same thing with India as well. But it's up on the management, right? How you plan it out. So with the T20 series being conducted while the other players were out for leagues, I mean that plays a role. It's really for something for the management to take a look, because these things are sort of the schedules and everything are announced way early, right? So this
Way
is
early.
where you have to plan ahead.
Did you guys hear Hazelwood's statement? Or I didn't cover it much, but I think I don't know how the media took it, or did he really wanted to say it like that?
Yeah, that's the thing. But whatever the gist of it is, England only has 1 point. They lost to Australia. The match against Scotland got washed out. And Scotland, on the other hand, has 5 points, right? So England has to win the next two matches, all of them, with good margin. And Scotland just has to ensure that they don't lose by a big margin against Australia. And Hazelwood somewhere, I think, made it seem like that, they would help Scotland qualify or make it easier for Scotland qualify. They could.
Yeah.
That would knock England out.
He totally said it in a fun way, I guess.
I mean,
Because it's
No.
Australia. They won't like try to lose any match, and that too an ICC event.
Nobody would want to lose.
And
if something like that happens, then another controversial thing where you'll talk about cricket is scripted.
Yeah.
Cricket is all
No,
fixed.
but the captain would be banned if that happens.
If that happens.
The
course.
captain would
An
get a 2-match
Australian
ban.
Australian board has been very harsh when something like that happens. They can.
So he said in this tournament, you could potentially come up against England at some stage. And we've had some real struggles against them in T20 cricket. So if we can get them out of the tournament, that's in our best interest as well.
So
And he said, I'm not too sure really whether you get close in a run chase and just knock it around and drag it out. There are a few options there. But to take confidence from winning well, and I think that's almost more important than potentially knocking someone out. I mean, yeah. So you can see where he's heading. Like if you're in a run chase and you need whatever 15 from 15 balls or something, why finish it in 5 balls? You can drag it out to the last over.
Last ball.
Yeah, the last ball. I mean, as far as you can take, right? I don't think they would shoot the last ball, but I mean, I'm pretty sure like he said it in a fun way.
Yeah.
Then we have another upset here. England's out. Pakistan could be out of the tournament. England's out.
So the finalists of the last edition are no longer part of this World Cup.
Yes, and New Zealand. That's another heavyweight. Two finalists from last year and New Zealand are out. So 3 teams who could potentially make it to the semi-final are out.
Yeah, so another win, another trophy for Australia.
Yeah.
And no heavyweights in the
Are you
path.
calling India a middleweight here?
I think it's better if India is not going as favorites and then winning, rather than being as favorites and not winning.
That's the case now. Every World Cup, India is the favorite. Everyone hypes them up, and then we play like we're the favorites, and then at the very last stage we crumble. Be the semi-final or the final, and we crumble in a bad way. Yeah, the history of it. It's not like close matches. All the knockout matches we have lost, T20 World Cup or World Cup Champions Trophy final, in the World Cup final, T20 World Cup semi-final. We lose
Yeah,
bad ways.
Deepanjan, we all know.
I mean, yeah, sorry to give you PTSD. The good thing is India are not the favorites. They're playing horribly, and we have a trend. Anything or anyone we sort of criticize, they end up doing great in the next match. So India are playing terribly. India are not the favorites, and someone's gonna make a deep cut of it. I don't care. If that helps, it helps. Yeah. So on that note, you were listening to Beyond the Wicket. I am Deepanjan. I've got Naman and Swapneel with me. It's a wrap from this episode. We were talking about India and USA. We were talking about India's like batsman struggle, some ICC rules that needs to change, the loopholes that are costing teams a possible qualification spot. And we'll come back after the India-Canada match, and we'll assess what happens in the Super 8 stage, because sort of sure thing is India is playing Australia, and we don't know what is else gonna happen, who else is gonna qualify. There are big teams on the brink of elimination. So the next phase of T20 World Cup, it's gonna be very interesting. So yeah, and please like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends. Drop down a comment your feedback if you have any questions for us, what you felt about India's struggles so far. And if you want to come and abuse Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma for not making runs or whatever is your feedback, please drop it down on the comments, and we'll try and reply to every one of you. So yeah, thank you for listening to Beyond the Wicket, and I'll see you next time.